Hi guys! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to get acrylic nails at home. This kit is how I did them. I used everything in this kit and it's pretty easy and inexpensive. So if you're not looking to spend a lot of money to go get your nails done, then I think that this is the perfect way to do it. So if you want to learn how I got these nails at home, then keep watching.
I got in the kit, it comes with acrylic powder, a primer, acrylic liquid, as well as this stuff to mask the smell of the acrylic liquid because we know that it can be very strong, as well as the glue, a little cup to pour the acrylic liquid into while you're working with it. These are to make acrylic without the tips, but I prefer to use the tips, so after me fumbling with the container, I finally realized that it slides out. There we go. In here you have a file, you have a brush to apply the acrylic with, as well as a cuticle stick to push back your cuticles, and it also comes with white tips and clear tips. I prefer to use the clear tips because I'm not going to be doing French. So here are the instructions, and I'm just going to be showing you guys how to do it step by step. I followed the instructions, and honestly, in the kit, they don't really give you everything that you need, but I use some outside tools like a nail buffer and a little file that I bought at Rite Aid. So any drugstore you can buy that at. Here I am just sizing the tips to see which ones fit best. So you want something that's going to fit comfortably, and sometimes they could be a little bit too wide, so you want to just file those down to the right shape of your nail, but you want something that's going to fit comfortably on the nail, not too big and not too tight. Each finger, and they also have little numbers on them, so usually if it'll fit your thumb on your right hand, the same one will fit your thumb on the left hand, and they have little numbers on them, but you can't really see them here, but that's just for your convenience so that you know which ones you're using. Now I'm taking some glue and I'm just applying about 1 drop of glue onto the actual nail, and then I'm placing it onto the nail at a 45-degree angle to prevent any bubbles getting stuck in between the nail and the tip, because you don't want any bubbles or air stuck in there, because that will be a real pain in the butt to take care of, and that can cause your nails to also not have such a great adhesive and possibly fall off, because they are the main step to this, and then you'll apply acrylic on top of them. But you just want to make sure all of these are securely on and they fit correctly, and you just want to apply the glue and then hold them on there for about 10 seconds. This is the quick speed glue, so it dries rather fast, but that's what I did. Time to cut them. So I just used a regular nail clipper, but because they are very long, you want to be careful that you don't bend them completely in the middle. So what I did was cut from each side, and I cut a little bit longer than my desired length because just in case you don't want to cut them too short and then you want them longer, because that's really hard to fix. So you just want to cut them a little bit longer than you'd want them, and I found easiest to cut them on each side. To each nail, and like I said, make sure you cut just a little bit longer because we are going to be filing, and you know, a little length is going to come off with filing, so you can cut them to whatever length you like. If you'd like them shorter or if you'd like them longer, that's up to you, but either way they're going to look really nice. Dry from the glue before you start cutting because you don't want any of your nails to just pop off. So I would wait an extra 20 to 30 seconds after you have them all glued on to make sure that they are completely dry. So now that you have finished cutting them, now it's time to file them to the desired shape that you would like. So for me, I went for square. Here's where you can change them to like a stiletto or a coffin shape or a squoval or any kind of nail shape you would like. This is the time to do it. So for me, I actually trimmed them a little bit more because I thought they were a little bit too long for my liking. But after that, I started filing them and making sure that they were square and they lined up with my nail bed, because these sometimes can be a little bit wider than the natural nail, so you just want to file them to match up your natural nail bed. So that's what I did here. I just filed them to the desired shape, and you can file them to whatever shape you would like. Just some boring stuff. It's just me filing my nails. Like I said, it's the perfect time to file your nails because the tip is much thinner than the acrylic will be once you have it on top of your nail. And it's important to, get that shape that you want now. So here I'm applying the acrylic primer. Now I forgot to include a clip of me buffing my natural nail. You want to make sure you just take a buffer and buff your natural nail a little bit to rough it up so the primer and the acrylic have something to stick to. So that's what I'm doing right here, is just applying the primer, which is going to help the acrylic really adhere to the natural nail and give you a really strong bond. So here I'm just pouring the acrylic liquid into the little cup that they gave me. You don't need to fill it too much, but boy does this stuff really smell. I didn't use that apple stuff, but I definitely will next time. Here I'm just opening up the powder, and the powder it's like a very thin, clear powder, and it doesn't look clear in the jar, but it will be clear once you apply it. Here I'm just pushing back my cuticles. I used my own cuticle pusher, not the one that came in the kit, but the one that came in the kit is just as sufficient as this. I just find mine a little bit more comfortable. I'm used to working with it. So now I'm going to dip my brush into the acrylic liquid. You want to make sure that you don't have too much liquid on the brush, because then it will make the acrylic very thick and lumpy. So making sure you have the perfect amount of liquid on your brush as well as taking the perfect amount of powder. So this does take time and it is trial and error, but eventually you will get it down and it's not that hard. Using a little bit of extra acrylic liquid to smooth out the acrylic helps a lot, because this can get pretty lumpy, and as you can see on this nail, this was the first one I did and I started messing up, but practice makes perfect. And the thing about it is even if you apply a little bit too much acrylic, you can go back and file it, or you can add a little bit more if you need it. But most importantly is getting down the step of grabbing the acrylic liquid and creating that perfect little ball of acrylic to put on the nail. So right here I'm just trying to smooth out the acrylic as best as I can. You can always add more. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just grabbing a little bit more and placing it in the sparse spots that need the extra acrylic. On top of the nail to make it bond together. So even if you put too much sometimes, you can always smooth it out with a file. Don't worry about it. Most importantly, you want to put that first ball of acrylic right in between the natural nail and where the tip meet on the nail bed, because right there is where you want the strongest bond to be, because that is going to really ensure that you have a nice strong bond and your nail is going to stay on and it's not just going to pop off. Also, you want to make sure that you apply enough acrylic to the nail bed and you don't have too much acrylic on the very tip of the nail, especially if you're going to have long ones. If you put too much acrylic on the top of the nail, then it can be top heavy, where the top of the nail is so thick that it just breaks off because it's so heavy and thick. So now here I'm just filing. Now again, if your acrylic nails look really lumpy and bumpy, this is your perfect opportunity to fix them. So just filing. Now I didn't use the file that comes in the kit, because I have a whole bunch of nail tools myself, but the one in the kit works too. But I found that if you get a really grainy file, then that's really going to help smooth out the nail. Now I'm using a really grainy buffer, something that has really thick grains that's going to really buff out that nail and smooth it out, because you want to make sure that you round out the sides of the nail and you don't have just a straight line across from filing. You want to really buff out that nail, and smooth it out and make sure that it's nice and rounded and smooth all the way around. Is most important because when you apply your polish, that's when you're going to notice a lot of lumps and bumps if you did not file them correctly. You can always go back and fix them. That's the best thing about this. You're home, you take your time, and you can always go back and fix it. So this, I'm using this little file drill I got from the drugstore. It's maybe about $10, and it definitely helps. This tool right here I'm using to just buff out the acrylic because sometimes it can get lines in it from the file if you file a little bit too hard, but that's okay. You can always buff it out with a buffer or this little buffer tool that I have. Now I'm just going back and, making things perfect and really noticing where I maybe missed a spot and just going back in and fixing it. It's not hard at all. You can always go back and fix it. Now that they're nice and smooth, I'm just going to go right in with my little tool very close to the cuticle and make sure that it's very smooth around the cuticle, because if you ever gotten your nails done professionally, you want your acrylic to be smooth and a little bit thinner down at the cuticle than at the top. After that, I put a little bit of oil on my nails, olive oil, coconut oil, any kind of oil will work. And I put this Josie Maran Argan Infinity Cream on my hands just because they kind of got dried out from all of the products. Now I'm just painting my nails with a clear base coat. This will help make sure that your acrylic doesn't get stained from whatever color that you decide to use. I decided to paint them nude, and because I got my inspiration pic from Kylie Jenner's Instagram. She posted a picture of her nails, and this was the closest color I had to it, and I decided to paint them nude. So here I am just painting my nails, and you just want to start off in the middle, close to the cuticle, and then work your way up. Sometimes if your nails are longer, you need to dip again for extra polish, but you also want to make sure you cap the tip of the nail. So at the tip of the nail, you want to make sure you get some polish on there because you don't want it to look white. You want it to just be all nice and one color. And this also makes sure that your nails don't chip by applying the polish at the tip of the nail. Also going to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and paint a second coat just to get that really vibrant color. And after that, you are done. I applied the Sech Vite, I believe that's how you say it, top coat. It's super shiny and it makes your nails look like a gel manicure. So this top coat is absolutely amazing, and it really makes your nails look really smooth and super shiny, and it also makes your nails not chip. So thank you for watching, and definitely subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much.